Nick.
Greg.
What's your topic?
Got another fun topic from Twitter.
Another fun one.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a topic for the show, please feel free to follow me on Twitter at Nick_Scarpino. Tweet me your topics like the Furious Iceberg.
That's pretty good.
I guess it's pretty good. In 10 years, should Disney reboot Star Wars episodes 1 through 3? It'll have been 25 years, and doing a good take on Vader's fall is needed, which I think I agree with.
First of all, the fact that it's been 25 years since 1999 at that point is just scary.
Isn't that trippy?
15 years right now, which is insane. I remember seeing that abomination live with my...
You used to say, "Lisa, people gonna die."
I remember,
you love that. You love it.
I went to see it with my brother and my dad. They took my dad took me out of school. I was in 9th grade when it came out, and or 10th grade. And I remember seeing it, and I'm like, "Oh, that was pretty good." You know, I walked out of there. Yeah, I was like, all right, I can do that. Like the Darth Maul action, it was pretty cool.
Maul was pretty bad. We can all agree the Maul was badass.
Yeah, he was awesome. There was some terrible, like the Rick Oley or whatever, the pilot that was the worst actor in the world. Was it that stuck out to me? Jar Jar Binks sucked, but overall I was okay. And then slowly, you could see it with my brother and my dad. We were all talking about the same thing.
Wait a minute.
We went out to lunch afterwards, and we're like, okay, that was pretty good. Then we went out to dinner, and I was like, but wait, that pod racing scene kind of sucked. You know, and the announcers were a little weird, right? And then a month later, we would meet again and be like, everything was the guys in the beginning were racist Asian stereotypes, and then everything slowly started falling apart for everyone. I think that's the way it went with everyone. Some people act, maybe I'm wrong, but some people act like they went in and they hated it immediately, and I don't know if that happened.
I ended up kind of at that point I was relatively indifferent about Star Wars, even before those had come out. But at the time, I was friends with a lot of people that worked at a movie theater chain. I was dating someone who she ran a movie theater.
Yeah, tell us about that.
So it was a lot of popcorn. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I think so.
I don't know. It was a dark time. So I got to see that the night before it came out, or maybe one night even before that. So but it was a bunch of movie theater employees, and at some point you've seen so many free movies, they're just like, man, fuck all this shit. So a lot of us came out of that going that was not so good, not outraged and freaking out. Even the people that loved Star Wars were just like, I don't know about it, Star Wars. But I kind of came out of it saying whatever, that was lame. But then I had this advanced knowledge for 2 days and really wanted to use it. And it was it took everything I had.
Oh, you're like that guy that read the end of the Harry Potter book 7.
Exactly.
And he immediately ran out and told me about it.
Yeah. I wanted to do that, but I ended up not quite doing it. I was in a band at the time. We were playing shows out and about, and the day that movie opened, we actually, or the day before, I guess. So it was they were going to show it at midnight. And they decided somewhere in the South Bay, they decided what if we got some bands to play in the parking lot while people were waiting in line for Star Wars? So here we are, rapping in front of kids waiting to see Star Wars, and it's just I'm just kind of obliquely referencing things in the movie that won't make any sense to them. I can't remember anything too specific other than
let's just say those metachlorian
some people got pushed into pits and shit. It was really hard having a microphone in front of this sea of people, many of which had come in costume.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And one of the other guys, this guy Ben, that was in the group
Kenobi?
with us. Yeah, he was in there. We decided we were going to do a Star Wars costume contest thing, and the winner was someone dressed up in a full X-wing pilot outfit, helmet,
Sweet.
Great looking, just spent a ton of time on it. And Ben, good guy, he's come a long way. Just grabbed him, gave him the biggest wedgie. In the middle of this parking lot. The poor kid just wanted to fucking see Star Wars in peace. And here we were, swearing in front of them, talking about how we didn't much care for Star Wars. And then he had to give him the wedgie. I don't know. The whole thing.
Sadly, that wasn't the worst thing that happened to that kid that night.
No, I guess not. I guess, at the end of the night, he had to see Star Wars. And go I dressed up.
See, I'm with Colin. I think I was sort of similar. You go in with you wanting and liking it more than you probably should have, right? At the first one, because you're it's Star Wars. It's the first Star Wars we've seen in my, in forever, however long, 10 years, 15 years? And, no, longer than that.
Longer than that. 16 years.
16 years. And so I think we all got out and we had been hyped because those trailers were awesome, right?
Right.
Meet Joe Black was it? I remember people used to go see Meet Joe Black just to see the trailer.
Just to see the trailer, right? Yeah, that awesome line.
There wasn't the internet yet.
I went to go see Meet Joe Black because Meet Joe Black was dope.
Claire Filani, what up?
Really good movie.
No, that's Claire Filani.
Yeah.
She's watching.
All rats.
She's a fan of Craig's. So you see the trailer, and you have the cool line where he's like, "At last, we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last, we'll have our revenge." And you're like, "What's gonna happen? It's gonna be so good." And then you go in, and it was not good, and you don't want to believe it because I didn't want to believe it because I was like, "It doesn't matter what happened in this one. There's gonna be 2 more." And they're
That's
gonna
what I
totally
felt too.
make it up, right?
And I thought the second one especially.
Like, they got to tell a story here, man. They got to set it up. It's just the start of the story. They got to set it up.
I don't worry about midichlorians, whatever. He's gonna have some cool spin on that. Lawrence Kasdan's gonna come in. He's gonna write the second one. It's gonna be the bomb. Then the second one came out, and you were like, "Oh no,
The second
this
one
is not gonna get better. This is just going down the rabbit hole."
Yeah. The second one was the one I was actually starting to get personally offended
Because
I
they
didn't
were
see
like,
it in theaters.
"Oh, they had." I mean, you're watching the Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman have zero chemistry. They are not falling in love. You do not believe this at all. It's as if that was like the first day they met was the love scene, which is like sacrilege if you're a director. You don't do that to your cast, but it was just terrible. And then by the time you got to the third one, you're like, I just got to see it end. I just want to. It's like when you've got a dying grandmother and you're like, I love her to death, but she's in pain.
You take the pillow,
and you just slowly. Or like what Colin does every time you turn around with Portillo.
Yeah,
he just goes to squeeze.
I'm not sure if I ever actually saw the third one.
Really?
Yeah,
it was pretty good.
I'm not sure I did either.
I saw the second one
Forgettable
drunk in a hotel room in New York with someone from Rockstar. I was like flying out there to see something, and just like we had some time to kill. It's just like, turn on the TV. What's going on? We've been drinking on the plane the whole way out, and that was on. I was like, yeah, let's watch this. I just remember it being bad.
But Anakin,
really bad.
I have the high ground.
Like, sadly,
really
they
bad.
all had good parts of them. Like, I
Yeah,
can remember
yeah.
really good parts. Like, all the fights with Darth Maul were awesome. I liked all the stuff where he goes to the clone factory in the second one. The fight at the end between Anakin and Obi-Wan was actually pretty cool in the third
Up
one.
until the stupid, he gets his legs and arms chopped off
was
in one.
kind of just-
I have the high ground.
He's
You
like,
fought. You had this amazing fight forever. And it's just one half circle. And
yeah,
you
he's
kill
like,
him.
you're only 5 feet away from me. Don't try it, because I'm 2 feet higher than you are. I'm gonna.
He was reading a lot of
They're
military
flipping around
strategy
like freaking
books.
Planet of the Apes. They're all over the damn place, and you can't jump over them.
I mean,
It's the stupidest thing.
the problem was, like, and we've said this before on the show, like, I feel like the movies actually got worse. A lot of people feel like that. I actually feel like episode 1, strictly because of Darth Maul, was actually really superior to the other two. Because at least he was interesting.
Everyone will agree with that.
A lot of people think that that's the worst one.
I thought 3 was good. I enjoy. Now I want to fall. I've always been indifferent to Star Wars. I've never been in love with it. So it's like whatever. These are fun movies. I'm fun.
Yeah.
But I do remember, I really loved Star Wars when I was a kid. I was really obsessed with Star Wars when I was a kid, and I remember that feeling of like seeing that Lucasfilm, that greenish Lucasfilm logo, and then like the 20th century. And I was like so fucking excited. Then the scroll happens. It talks about the Trade Federation and all these kinds of things. I'm like, this is really interesting. And I actually really like the first 10 minutes of the movie, like where they're on the ship.
Yeah, that was cool.
And it's like Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are sneaking onto the Trade Federation ship or whatever, and they use the lightsaber to like cut through the door. And,
and they move like super fast for
Yeah.
some reason.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
they
the
can,
first time where I was like, oh,
"That's so
Jedis
cool."
are cool.
Yeah, but it quickly went down. Like, and so there's other cool scenes in it. Like, I love the scene. A lot of people underrate the scene with Darth Maul in the desert when he first fights them, and he comes on the speeder bike,
nails.
and he does a flip over the bike or off the bike, and then only opens one side of his lightsaber and starts fighting them or whatever. And I was like, this is so, because he has the double-sided lightsaber. He doesn't even need to use it.
Yeah, you saw in the preview, and you're like, when's it gonna come out?
And then that last fight is like,
Epic.
Really, really. And I always say, I love the scene where Darth Maul. It's very subtle, where Darth Maul's backing up towards the closed door, and he just puts his arm out or whatever, and he
opens up.
sends some like thing striking into the like,
it's so
this is
good.
so awesome, But other than that, it sucked. And the second one,
should they reboot it in 10 years?
and I just want to say the second one ruined Boba Fett forever.
Made him better, you mean? They gave him a backstory.
No, it made him a
finally.
fucking clone. I don't want to
Before
go
he
down this
wasn't-
road
he
again
was-
with you. All right, we've gone down this road before. Boba Fett was sacred, and they fucking
was
ruined him.
sacred.
He's a shitty fucking clone. All right, period. No, they shouldn't reboot them. They should go back in time and undo them. They can use that Disney money.
Here's
to
the
make a time
thing: is that
machine.
10 years isn't far away, right?
10 years from now is pretty far, but I mean,
not in terms of movies, because they have when's the next one come out? 2015.
they're going to keep going. Yeah,
And then they're gonna
20
have-
delayed though,
then
right?
2016, I think. Now they're talking.
Well, it's 2015. Yeah, so if,
So
Yeah,
Harrison
2015,
Ford broke
yeah.
his fat
if
foot.
it's 2015, then it's 2017, then it's 2019.
But then they're going to do the.
like-
Where's
And
the
then
Gary
in
Whitta one?
The odd
Yeah,
years
where's
will
the
be
Gary
like
Whitta one?
your
Yeah.
Gary Whitta movies and
Yeah.
that
Right.
sort of stuff.
So I think by the time we get through the movies that are already announced, there's going to be no reason to restart it, to reboot it.
I think they will, though.
They'll have something. They'll need to do something at that point, though, won't they? I mean,
Yeah.
maybe that'll just be like, we re-released the original trilogy again, and we unfucked them. I don't know.
I'd like to see it happen. I'd like to see him give it to 10 years from now. They're like, JJ, you want to take another crack at it? Because JJ will do a couple and probably go away for a while.
I'd rather see new stories, though. Why did we need to see? We already saw it.
And I would hope that there would be like some, like, you know, in 10 years' time, there'd be like a new J.J. Abrams or someone to step in and do it. Like,
I'm sure there will be, but like imagine how amazing it would be if the entire world was like, everyone can unanimously agree that those were kind of mistakes, and now we're gonna all rise up and support 3 more that just build into that same original story.
But it's just gonna fuck the timeline. You're only rebooting the 3 movies. That's even more crazy. When they reboot all of Spider-Man, that kind of makes sense.
Well, what if they reboot all 9 of them and just start with those 3?
Yeah, I mean that's probably what they would end up doing. But
I don't know.
That's hardcore.
But if you touch a New Hope or Empire or Jedi, man. But I don't want to live on that world.
But if like 10 to 15 years from now, who cares what you think? You're not in the movie scene.
You're old. That's like, you're dead.
Just like they're not making them, they're not making them for you.
Come to think of it.
Yeah, I mean they're not making those for you. They're making them for kids.
It's good, right?
No, that's true. I couldn't imagine, like, those movies are so sacred. You know, like the cast in those movies, especially, like, sacred. You know, like A New Hope is it ages well. It's all weird and fucked up. Like when you watch it, it's not very well made, but like it's a really special movie. Empire is really the epitome of that series, and you know, you can't imagine. I couldn't imagine like recasting those things. Now, I will say this real quick. This was funny because I swore off a few episodes ago. I was like, I'm never, you know, because they got rid of the expanded universe as canon, which deeply insulted me. And I was like, I'm no longer going to give a shit about Star Wars.
Masters of Terrascasi fan, huh?
Huge fan of that fine PS1 fighting game. No, but I spent, like I was saying, I spent like hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on this shit when I was a kid, and just read every book, and I felt like it was all real, and it's just all like, no, it's fan fiction. But
Timothy Zahn's a Joker. Get him out of here.
But episode 7. So when this stuff happened with Han Solo, or Harrison Ford, as we know him in real life, it happened and he broke his leg, I guess, or he really fucked his leg up on the set. But then all this stuff started leaking about the plot. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this or whatever. It was like on Ain't It Cool News and stuff. Yeah, and like, I was like, if this is true, I have to be, and I tweeted, I'm like, I have to be kind of honest with you. Like, I'm pretty stoked about the plot.
What's the plot? Just that I knew that it was like revolved around Han Solo a lot or whatever. What the fuck? I knew it revolved around Han Solo.
Landlord.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm gonna answer it. Hello? Okay, have a good night. Bye-bye. Sorry, that was our landlord. We haven't paid rent yet.
I love it. I love it so much.
Evening of the 1st, on you immediately.
Yeah, no,
like, what the fuck?
Well, because I saw him.
My money.
I saw him before, and he went out. He goes to his son's house for dinner, and he gets home. Sure. So anyway, the plot, just very brief. Like, there's not much about it, but it's about, and turn it off if you don't want to know. It's about, apparently, Han Solo leading a search party for Luke Skywalker who's gone missing. And like, that sounds kind of awesome. Like, I got to be totally honest with you. Like, old Han Solo is looking for like his old friend. You know, because Han Solo's like in his 70s, or at least Harrison Ford is.
That's actually really cool.
So like, I was like, I'm like, that sounds kind of rad.
And then they'll find a young Luke Skywalker on the planet Genesis.
Again, remember, like, but they could do the original 3 again and not touch anything and just build into the rest of the canon. Like, they've already been made. We already know where they have to go. As long as they wind up with basically the main thing of
just retell those stories and just go like, hey, look guys, like, you know, the people that were stewards of this franchise before suck, so here are these 3 movies again, and we fixed them.
You can't do that. You can't do it.
I think you could.
No way. You have to reboot the whole universe.
I don't think you do.
I think that would be
do the original
like
3.
super cool if they rebooted the whole universe at this point. That'd be really interesting.
Wow.
I'm sure they will eventually, but
probably
Disney paid $4 billion for that fucking.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna make those long after all of us are dead. And,
I was gonna say, I guess like the analog to this is Star Trek, right?
Sure.
Where really the J.J. Abrams Star Trek undid all of the other Sar Treks. So
right.
But that would have been
interesting nods to it and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought that first movie was awesome.
Yeah. You know, like second one?
It was
Is
fine.
that's the one with the Cumberbatch running around? I think I saw that one.
Con.
I forgot that one. Yeah, it didn't have the.
It was forgettable. It was good. It was entertaining.
Yeah,
that's as much as can be said about it.
I really like the first one.
I cry at the beginning of the first one every single time. I tell this whole story all the time. I cannot watch the beginning of Star Trek, the J.J. Abrams
when
reboot.
Thor dies.
When Thor dies. When Chris Hemsworth, he has a name, Greg.
Thor.
Yeah. When he's talking and he's doing all the stuff and like one man band like killing the Romulan ship in front of him, and he hears the crying of his baby.
Yeah.
And then she's like, and then they had this totally normal conversation about like as his son's born, as he's like rocketing toward the ship. I man tear up every single time. Yeah. It's so good.
It's the birth of James T. Kirk, man.
Yeah.
A legend is born.
What are we gonna name him? She's like, let's name him after your father. He's like, Tiberius. No, that's the worst. Let's name him after your dad. Let's name him James. It's so good.
I'm like getting like
damn it,
pins and needles on my face. Just
so good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway,
Just like the other famous line from what we've been talking about tonight, the sand. It's so coarse. Gets everywhere. I hate the sand.
Hayden Christensen is the.
oh my god,
No.
that's the line I was trying to. That's what I was trying to remember. Where he's like, "You're fine though. You're like the. What did he say? How does that whole thing go? It's terrible."
The thing about Hayden Christensen, remember, I think it's bad direction. He's great in Shattered Glass. Everybody go watch Shattered Glass. Shattered Glass, fantastic flick. Just putting it out there. Because I'm a journalist.
He's a good actor. That's the sad thing, is that he just wasn't given very much to work with. Probably not given very many takes, and probably had no idea what he was doing in any scene because everything was green around him.
yeah, working on a green screen, that can't be easy. Yeah.
So I say no, don't reboot. Nick, what do
Okay.
you say?
I say yes. Jeff, what do you say?
Fuck it, dude. It's just Star Wars.
It's just Star Wars. Colin, last question to you of the evening.
It's coarse and rough and irritating.
I'm
And it
entertaining.
gets everywhere.
It gets
I have. That's even worse than I remember it. That's even worse than I remember it.
Colin, if you had to
That's a
pick
good take. What?
which character is the lesser of these two evils? Okay. You got your Jar Jar Binks or your Bane.
What do you mean? Well, Bane and Jar Jar are different. Bane is an essential character. Yes. And Jar Jar Binks is just the worst.
I mean, Jar Jar Binks is one of the worst characters in the history of cinema. Like I don't
okay
like
with this?
Bane or Rises, but I'm not gonna say he's worse than Jar Jar.
Bane is the best, dude. We've tread this.
He's
ground
arguably
time
the
and
best
time
character.
How do you feel about Bane?
I'm kind of indifferent on the topic.
What'd you think of
Bane.
Rises?
I didn't see it.
Really?
okay.
Yeah, no, it's so.
You made the right
So
choice.
here's the thing that happens: you see movies for free for a while. You date someone who works at a movie theater. When all that goes away, the last thing you want to do is go to a movie theater.
She might be there.
No, it's just like at some point you're just like a couple of things. Like I don't like seeing movies with people.
Yeah.
Because you're used to seeing them late at night with no one. And then also, like, I just at some point was like, I hate hanging out at movie theaters.
Sure.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
And it's one of those things like
We've talked about this.
I'm amazed.
Over
love
going to
it.
the
Why
movie
the
theater.
fuck do movie theaters still exist?
I don't know, but I
Wow,
just,
this conversation just
Like,
came out.
this is
This is
fucking
brilliant.
terrible.
don't
Yeah.
ever want them to die. I love that long walk down like the carpet with your popcorn and it's spilling all over the place. And you look up and that's not your theater, and you realize it's all the way on the other hall. And you got to deal with.
You're describing all the
kids.
things I hate.
Oh, I love it. I like the smell of a movie theater. I like when like you get out to go to the bathroom and you have to run because they don't stop the movie and it's really quiet in the hallways. I love the whole experience. I'm always gonna love going.
I
to
have
movies.
in terms of just like distance to screen and all that sort of stuff. I have a better sound system and television in my home to watch those films.
Day and date digital. I'm telling you.
Totally.
Yep. There you go. It's over, Nick.
Just lean into it.
It's never gonna be over. It's never gonna be over.
It won't be over, but you'll be paying $25 for a movie ticket before
I'll
you know
pay
it.
it. I'll pay it.
Yeah.
Because the digital day and date thing's gonna happen eventually for sure. Like with everything.
Yeah.
And then movie
They're gonna
theaters are gonna
fight
start
it
to
as hard as
close, and you're gonna
possible,
only
though.
have
There'll be
premium movie
boutique
theaters.
theaters
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, I feel like you already see a lot of that because exhibitors have to figure out new ways to bring people into this like dying thing. Or I guess actually, I mean that business is still afloat for what it is. But that's why you have your Alamo Draft houses and like we serve beer. Come to a movie theater. Please come to our movie theater. We have beers.
Right.
But once you can book seats, yeah, it'll be a little bit better.
So that's the theater in Petaluma. They have the shaky seats.
Oh, do they?
They have
Interesting.
Oh, man, I can't remember the D-box. They have D-box seats, and you reserve D-box seats. You have to pay a little bit more.
Yeah.
But they are the best seats in the house, and also for some movies like Fast and Furious when they were in Brazil, like it was like doing that pan around, like the seat kind of leaned, and you're like, this is really dumb and hilarious.
See, I'm just thinking like Alamo Draft House. They're building one down in the Mission, right?
Yeah,
Where you can
yeah.
just book your seat.
Right.
That's a big thing. But even
Totally.
then, I'm gonna have some annoying person around me, and I hate them.
Yeah, no, fuck people.
Fuck people, indeed, ladies
Word.
and gentlemen. Nick, that was your topic.
That was my topic, Greg.
Don't click off yet.
Don't click off.
As always, Nick, your topic was driven by the community.
By Twitter, mostly Twitter.
All right. Well, we're introducing something new here on the GameOverGreggy show.
Correct.
For next week's show, The people get to pick what your topic's going to be.
Yeah, you guys have been awesome, by the way. So thank you so much for sending all those amazing.
Keep sending them. Nick_Scarpino.
Nick_Scarpino. All the topics. I write them all down. We go through them together and we talk, and they're all amazing. They always get a laugh. If we don't ever do your topic, by the way, just know that we talk about it. They always get a laugh.
And just know that the one to beat is still what would happen if you had to rename Earth because the name was already taken.
Which is genius.
That was still the best one. So if you can beat that one, I'll be very impressed.
If you can beat it, it's coming on the show. So to sort of say thank you and to kind of give the power back to the audience, Greg had this great idea. Greg, you want to describe it, or would you like me to?
I don't mind you doing it.
Okay.
You go ahead.
So
He's giving the power back to you now.
I want to let you guys pick the topic for next week's show.
Retain
so
some of the power.
If you are we going to put these on screen? Is that what
Yeah,
we're
you
gonna
have to be. We'll put them in the description too in case you're on mobile. But if you're watching us on YouTube, sorry, MP3 people, you have to wait for this episode to go live.
Right.
What we're doing is putting on screen right now two choices,
Boom,
two
choices.
thumbnails.
On this side, you have topic 1. This is awesome from Twitter. Pregnancy scares. So that could be the potential topic for next week's show. Topic over here, kind of by my face.
I'm going to put them
Masking
both
Greg's
right
face.
there. They're not
Right here,
masking
doesn't matter.
anybody's face.
They're going to mask Greg's face right here. Is what would you do if you met your clone? So click on whatever video you want to vote.
Exactly. No, well, what happens is I understand you're going to want to watch what happens on both sides of the videos. Whichever one gets the most thumbs up is
I
what
like
will
that
win.
one.
So you click on both. You can see Nick's talk about pregnancy scares and the clones. Whichever one has the most thumbs up by the time we record next week on Wednesday, that's the winner.
Awesome. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Gonna be good stuff.
I'm excited.
Sounds all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's been another episode of the GameOverGreggy Show. Remember, every week 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather around this table.
So many best friends.
Each. What'd you say?
So I have so many best friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 to 5, and then we cycle people in.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I
They're
see
no
what you're
longer
saying.
my best friend anymore.
Best
I
friends
want
for
to
the
be
night.
Jeff's best friend.
Yeah.
You think Jeff will hang out with me after
I think
this?
Jeff's best friends with us now.
Yeah, sure.
It happened.
Absolutely,
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
yeah. Now I know where you live, so
Exactly.
I can just
You have all the
cruise
power
by.
now.
Yeah. Now I've got the power.
Remember, we post the show every Friday as an MP3 over at GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com. You buy it for $1. It's the entire show. You have a good time. If you don't want to spend the $1, we totally understand that and don't judge you. Instead, Monday through Thursday, you get each one of our topics broken out at youtube.com/GameOverGreggy. Friday, the entire show goes up as one giant video for free. We hope you enjoy that. Buy t-shirts at districtlines.com/GameOverGreggy. Thanks for coming out to support us at Rooster Teeth's Expo. That's what it stands for, RT Expo.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Just wanted to let you know.
Sounds
was
cool when you
thinking
say
like
RTX. though.
RTX Red Rock, that game.
Yeah, that's true too. That could be another one.
Not really.
Jeff,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thanks
Yeah,
for
thank you
having
very
me.
It's a
much.
pleasure
Jeff,
hanging
you're
out
awesome.
with
This
you.
has been great.
We love you.
I'll be your
No.
friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we're friends now. Okay, we've covered that. We're
Get on-
friends.
Nick,
Get
you're
on Facebook.
You're friends with. Yeah, you can get him on the Facebook.
Are we all friends?
He'll give you.
Can I follow him on Twitter?
I'll send you a LinkedIn request.
That's the
Pinnacle of
ultimate.
friendship.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure serving you this evening. I'm your friend, Greg.